greatest moments of their life. So we do that through exhibits, through programs and outreach. We had 100 Days of Live music last summer on our plaza. We have wonderful events here all the time. And one of our cornerstone pieces is having great exhibits. And right now we're standing in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's exhibit that is celebrating 50 years of Woodstock.
It is one of the most important cultural moments in the entire history of our nation. Think about this. Hundreds of thousands of young people go to a farm in upstate New York to be together, to think about what the
world could be and the world that they live in. You know, it's key moments from that are burned into our collective consciousness. These hundreds of thousands of kids went there to question what it meant to be Americans and understand what that meant. And meanwhile, a paratrooper named Jimi Hendrix plays the national anthem, the most national of songs, to understand what it means to be American and what it means to celebrate those freedoms together as a group in a field in upstate New York. These festivals, these gatherings, they're important catalytic moments in our history. In Woodstock is that shot heard around the world that launched a movement. We're standing in an exhibit dedicated to that. And this exhibit tells that story through artifacts that have been donated by people like Levon Helm from the band who performed that day, by John Sebastian who performed that day. All of these are joined by unique photos, unique archival film footage that's actual home movies of Woodstock. And this entire exhibit was curated by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's curatorial team, and the chief curator on this project, the lead on this, was Waka Ozuna. And I'm thrilled that Waka is with us today. She's going to share a bit more about the exhibit, and then we're adding a special piece to this exhibit. It's only open for one more month, and we've added a special piece of the actual stage that all of the artists traversed as they stood there and blasted out their message to the world. So join me in welcoming Waka and congratulating her on this great exhibit.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We're honored to have you all here, and just following Greg's sentiments, we are honored to have this amazing highlight added to this powerful and phenomenal exhibit celebrating Woodstock at 50. We were honored to be approached by Steve Gold, who is here with us today to share more about his Woodstock experience and how that changed his life. To have this additional piece that you can see here, this stage that everyone was focused on. It was amazing to talk to him this morning. And everyone, out of the 500,000 people plus that attended that monumentous concert and festival, everyone was focused on that stage. So no cameras, no video, we talked about Instagram, none of these moments were captured. Everyone was looking at this. All the energy was focused there. So we're truly honored to have this piece highlighted in this exhibit. It's amazing that we have it now as a part of our permanent collection. The beautiful thing about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as well, seconding what Greg mentioned earlier, all of these pieces were donated to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So we're honored to have this amazing piece of history as a permanent fixture here at this museum. I think that's a highlight to clap for right there. Like, that's pretty mind-blowing. A little bit about Steve, and we're going to let him come up and talk about himself, but Steve attended the concert as a teenager, and his father actually bought the stage at some time and used it as a paddle board, as a paddle ball court. In 2017, Steve actually purchased this stage back and was able to, again, make sure that it was commemorated, preserved, and celebrated in the right way. And he felt that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was the best home for that. And we're honored that you considered us for that, and you thought of us to have it here, right here in Cleveland, Ohio. So without any further ado, let's welcome Steve Gold.
Thank you. This is a long, strange trip for me. I can't believe I'm sitting here. I'll talk about, just briefly, at 13 years old, I produced my first concert. I asked my parents for some of my bar mitzvah money, and they let me produce a show. It was the Vanilla Fudge and blood, sweat, and tears at a hotel in the Catskills in 1967, Giver Hotel. So the world of rock and roll has always been part of me. Growing up in Sullivan County, where Woodstock was held, when I was 15, watching this concert being built, I had the advantage of visiting the site every day for the 3.5 weeks that it was being built. And it was the most amazing thing seeing it being built, but was also more amazing to see for the first time what I saw as a community of people coming together to make this work. Every day I would come to the site, there were a couple more, 1,000 people sitting in the field. And because I knew the back roads, I was able to go back and forth every day during the festival. We did not know what was going to happen. My cousins who went to the concert brought their dryer because they needed to look good. The old days they had that hair dryer, but there was no outlet. So, matter of fact, the hair dryer is buried there somewhere. My cousin worked as an operator for the New York Telephone Company. That's when they had the cables. And because there was no way to get information out, one of the announcements on the stage was, if anybody works for the telephone company, please go to work immediately. To answer the phones and deal with a lot of the emergencies, and talking to a lot of the parents wanting to know what their kids were doing. So, and then just being there and seeing all the performances, and you saw a history being made. The group I wanted to see was, The Who. The summer before, I had The Who in concert at the Tamarack Hotel, and I paid them $3,000 for 2 shows, and tickets were $2.50. That won't happen anymore. But to be able to see all these acts throughout the 4 days, and I call 4 days because I was there for Jimi Hendrix's performance on Monday, and watching him, play the iconic Star Spangled Banner, and one of the few of the 10,000 that was left was pretty amazing. But was also amazing, you're listening to him play the Star Spangled Banner, and sitting in the field, you had the stench of the 3 days prior. And it was just interesting how he's playing about the freedom of America, and here we were smelling the afterfacts of what the freedom of America was all about. So that was pretty interesting for me. So 3 weeks after Woodstock, or as we called it in Sullivan County, Yasgur's concert, Max Yasgur's concert, or Bethel, Woodstock didn't take on its iconic brand, I would say probably when the movie came out. So my parents owned the bungalow colony, which is, and a girlfriend of mine's parents also owned the bungalow colony. And I was dating her, and I was at her parents' bungalow colony one day, and her father comes up to me and asked me if I would help him unload his truck. He bought some wood that he's building a handball court, paddleball court. Of course, I said yes. I was dating his daughter. I want to be, a nice guy. So as we're unloading the truck, he says to me, this is the wood from the stage at Bethel. I just bought it because they're selling everything because they needed money to pay everything. And I said, 3 weeks after Woodstock, no big deal, but for some reason it stuck in my head. So fast forward to 48 years later, for some reason it came into my mind about, Alex Gray telling me about he used the stage panels at the bungalow colony. I drove up there. It's not where I thought it was. I guess over age, your mind goes different ways. But there it was, the state, the paddleball court with the Robbie Lane logo. So I asked the owners if we could take down some of the panels, and first they were going to call the police to have me committed because they couldn't understand why I wanted to do that. And as we took down the panels, we found a lot of the logos that you see, from Woodstock, whether it's the Weyerhaeuser logo that you see in a lot of the pictures, and the movies. There are pieces of this stage that were painted in rainbow colors, which was used to show where the revolving stage was, so people would understand where it went. And if you look carefully at the stage piece, you'll see the Weyerhaeuser logo in there. Of course, there's a lot of the pieces that have double nail holes. This stage was first built in Walk Hill, where the concert was originally supposed to take place, but the permit was revoked and they had to take apart the stage and rebuild it. So we found it, and I have my partners are here, Dave Marks and Randy Garcia. And Randy is related to Jerry Garcia. But his daughter's name is Jerry Garcia, so I think that's pretty cool. But we decided that, you know, we want to make the world know that this piece is there and for people to share in the history. And that's what we did. And to have this piece being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which to me, you know, growing up and still today is what rock and roll is all about, to be part of that history, to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, to myself, my partners, and everybody, this is an historic moment for us. And, you know, as I told my two sons, you know, one day when you take my grandkids, be able to see what we did here and see Grandpa's name along with, you know, my partner's name. So again, I want to thank everybody for this opportunity. I want to thank the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and peace and love, everybody.
Thank you, Steve. All right. So, visitors. There's 5 more floors of this museum, 6 more floors. Go up and experience it. Go in our garage and jam with each other. See the history of rock and roll on the main floor here. Go in our theaters. Have a wonderful day. Media members, if you want to do some one-on-ones, we're going to stick around and be able to do that for you. To Steve, to his family and friends that made the trip out here, thank you so much. The visitors that come through this exhibit over the next weeks and months are going to really enjoy this piece, and you help us tell the story better. So thank you all for being here. Have a great day.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you. Yep, thanks.
I love it. Thank you so much for your donation. That's awesome. That really is. And a lot of work involved in getting it and everything. There's a lot of backstory there.
Yeah, the backstory is great. You know, who knew? You know, dating this girl. It was just a little concert up in New York. No one knew. It was like just another show.
The movies really would save everybody's bacon.
Yes.
That brought the money in. Everybody got paid.
Yeah, but you know, John Roberts, family made sure they could have just said, screw it.
Yeah.
We didn't get, you know, but they did. So they are, you know, John and Joel really, I think, right, they're on it.
And I think that's the best proof behind the gift back then was we are an honorable generation, and we still are.
Does anyone need one-on-ones? Sure. Yeah? Right. Okay, perfect. Are you available for interviews? Yeah, absolutely. Did you want both Steve and our curator Waka?
That was the first thing she said to me. She's like, yeah, that's the area.
Okay. Any preference?
Thank you so much for the invite. Appreciate
Of
it.
course, absolutely.
And I got the nicest email from Big Sam.
Oh,
I
nice.
sent him the link to the photos,
That's excellent.
so that was really cool.
Great, Steve, I will have you right here with Fox 8. And
There's nothing going on in the country. I know you guys were bored. Thank you.
all right, I have Waka for an interview with Steve.
Hello, how are you?
Sorry.
No. I knew it was coming.
There we go. All right, great. So what does it mean to have this here?
Easiest question.
All right.
Spell your name for me.
All right. Okay. It's Waka, Nwaka. My last name is Onwusa, O-N-W.
I'll have you go back.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Waka, it's spelled Nwaka. Last name is O-N-W-U-S-A, Onwusa.
And tell me a little bit about the exhibit.
Yes, so the exhibit, we actually opened the exhibit celebrating Woodstock 50 last year in March, and it's on its way of coming down for the year's celebration, but we are so honored that we have a new piece that is being donated by Steve Gold to our permanent collection, which is the actual stage from Woodstock that was in Yasgur Farm, and we are so honored to have this now as a contribution to this exhibit in its last months of being on display.
Tell me about the significance of getting the stage.
Yeah, the significance of getting the stage here at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is enormous. I mean, we have so many other memories of the festival, whether it's through the costumes or through the instruments that were played, through having handwritten lyrics. We have Purple Haze, you know, from Jimi Hendrix on display as well. But to have a physical piece that all of those legendary artists and iconic artists actually stood on, it just does something to my heart. You have to come down and actually see it. We'll have it up for another month and a half or so, but it's just so powerful. It's just another wave to this frequency in music, and you really can feel that power. Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
Oh, you're good. No, look good.
Nice job. Nice job.
Social activism stuff that happened there. And it's so what's going on now. You know, the riots there. War, even though we're not in the well, we are in the war. But so there's so much that happened. Yeah, I believe Woodstock was a protest to the I think that's why everybody, yes, they want to come to the music, but you know, before social media, how it was spread, it spread through the underground music.
You can understand that. Like, there had to be problems, and there
No
wasn't.
Twitter, there was no Facebook.
So this is
And it just, the momentum kept building it, and because it was a way for a generation to say, you know, we're here, don't take us for granted. You know, and it was, I would say it's a major protest.
Before I let you go, musically, what are a couple of things?
Two I look at it as the emotion.
Thanks for that story. I never
The
knew
idea
that.
that we have a million eyeballs focus on a stage without anything interrupting.
And if that couldn't hit
Now,
somebody else,
takes
like, all right, you got a half an hour.
Nobody asked him for a selfie.
for the Twitter and you have all these things.
And I think in America today, you're
The
going to see
idea
the
that
pendulum
everybody
swing
was so
back.
focused
I
and the
pray to
sound
God
I
that
mean, the wackos throw it out from under the rug, because they feel they can. But I think the next it's going to be
totally different time. Something happened that wasn't supposed to happen.
No rules, no boundaries.
There was a miracle, God was there, Max Gaffney was there, the stage was there. Well, correct. Right. And you got to get it through the promoters, John Roberts, when we asked to hit, ready to move up. It wasn't easy to just say close the tent, finish and move on. Who knows what happened? So you got to give them a lot of credit that they made Woodstock what it was.
I'll send you a link to the photo.
Well, we got about 3,000 square feet. And if you go to our website, woodstage.com, there's a whole history of how I found the stage and the history behind it. Few videos, plans right here, videos of actual check out building the stage. And one of the things is I got to speak to everybody involved. Chip,
yeah, that's,
light show.
so we curated different
That's
pieces.
cool. They're my heroes.
Yeah, they're on our website, piece of stage.
Talk to one-on-one.
Sometimes.
Their experiences and how meaningful it was. We've had a grandfather.
Let me get it out.
All the history of brought that down.
Steve, what if I grab you after he's done?
So what we've done is that, people are able to touch these. We want them to feel the excitement of whatnot. And this is peace pendant. This is the original stage.
I'll definitely check that out. That's awesome.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
How are you, Randy? Channel 5. You want to go next?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, they're going to do an interview first.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Are you free for a sec?
We're in the city and then we harvest
Give me one second.
So you're with NBC?
I'm sort of independent.
How you doing? I'm Devin. I'm from Channel 3, the NBC affiliate.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
So I was watching NBC today, and with the corner of my eye, I saw the chyron that said Woodstock stage being donated today. But I missed it to take a picture of it.
And Steve, if you don't mind, I'm going to have you go to your left a little bit. I want to get the stage in the background.
I'll send you guys a link to the photo.
All right, so I'm back.
Well, he's one of the
Oh, okay. Okay.
overall boards. Yeah, we've had a couple of
This question, go ahead and say your spelling name first.
Steve, S-T-E-V-E, Gold, G-O-L-D.
Okay, and how you want to type?
Co-founder of Piece of Stage.
All right, tell me about your first reaction when you saw the stage and about it.
Well, I haven't slept in many nights for the excitement of being part of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which to me is the ultimate museum that there is about rock and roll music. And to be part of it, something I would never ever imagine happening, because I'm not a musician. So there was no other way to get to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to show what we've done than to donate the stage. But it really is, like the song says, what a long, strange trip it's been that we're here today.
Just in like 50 years. Tell me about any one instance, anything that sticks out. I mean, how long, forgive me if I don't know your exact journey, but how long did you not know where it was for a while?
Well, I forgot about it. After, Alex Gray told me about it, again, 3 weeks after the concert, it was a concert. It wasn't really till after the movie that it became the icon that it was. So, it's some reason it stayed in my brain somewhere. So, 48 years later, I thought about it. So I said, let me drive up there to see if it's still there. And the paddleball court was still there, but I wanted to make sure it was, the stage, and that's why we took it apart and saw all the markings, from the Woodstock concert. And then we had it authenticated, and the rest is history.
Who were your favorite bands at Woodstock that you saw?
Well, I was looking forward to The Who, but I would say The Who was one of my favorites, Joe Cocker, Sly and the Family Stone, and also seeing Jimi Hendrix, perform the Star Spangled Banner. But, I wasn't really into the folk. That was my downtime. But, the idea of seeing, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young for the first time, they played together, or Sha Na Na, who no one ever heard of, perform. It was incredible. And to be part of that, and now even to have, be part of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, where 500 or 1 million eyeballs were focused on that stage at one time, to be able to show the world it still exists.
Yeah, do you feel it's important that finally this is here and that people can take a look at it?
Yes, it's important, and the way we've shown it is that we give people the opportunity to touch it. We feel that there was something about that stage that was magical. Matter of fact, when we gave out some awards, we give to a lot of the performers who played at Woodstock, they touch it. They said, "Oh, this is where Jimmy, played the stuff." People would, and then some people say if you put your ear to the wood, just like you do a seashell, you can hear, the drumming, from Keith Moon in the background. So it's a piece of history that we felt it was important, not just to people to know it exists, but to be able to feel and touch it, so you can get some of that magic that made Woodstock what it was.
Thank you so much for talking to me today.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Oh, let me get a shot of your...
forget it.
No, I'm done? Media availability is over with? I want to get a shot of your pen real quick. That is the coolest thing. Thank you again. My dad went.
Did I see him there?
You might have. Saw a long-haired hippie from Columbus, Ohio.
I think I passed a joint to your father.
You might have.
And your father, I think,
He's probably in this movie right
and
here.
your father told me don't take that brown acid, if a matter of fact. So I want to tell you. So he saved my life.
I'm alive because of you. Thank you, sir.
It was a teacher that really saved my life. My mom passed away when I was a senior in high school. I was going to a Catholic high school. Sister Phillips and Mr. Gordy banded together and they said, "We're not going to let this kid go bad." And Sister Phillips had me come over to the convent. We were on the St. Paul day. My oldest for me some milk and sandwiches. You could have something to eat now. Buckle down, check your work, and get it done. And did this for the whole school year. And then to college. Because I graduated high school, otherwise I wouldn't have. And,